All rise for the Honorable Judge Foodie.
Welcome to the most prestigious food court on the internet.
Do you gotta bang the gavel?
I do. I have to call the court
so
to order.
annoying.
Yeah.
It's so loud.
the
Is
judge.
it annoying? Like, I've never been in real court. Is it annoying in real court?
Don't really hear it.
I don't think I've ever.
doesn't-
The
does he
judge
ever
has
bang the
never
gavel?
banged a gavel.
You just the bailiff just says all rise, and then you just stand up.
and then the
Wow.
judge says,
We have a
"Shut,
bailiff
shut,
that says that too,
shut
so.
your mouth."
Yeah.
That's what the judge says.
Well, I can say that. Shut your mouth.
Here you go.
Such a
Well, welcome again to the most prestigious food court on the internet. We have a bunch of pretty contentious cases today, and we have another expert jury. You're going to see some familiar faces. First of all, we have Mr. Mario. Mario, what did you have on Sunday
Well, hello
for football?
and
food?
hello. What did I have? So my Bills played late that night and got a taste of the Jaguar medicine.
That was rough.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll bounce back. It's just a rough week. So I actually didn't, because it was a late game, I didn't have a football feast.
Because it's on at like, if it's on at like 8, it's like, I
It
don't
was an
wanna eat at
8:25
8,
game.
See,
Oh,
you
you know
just-
what,
You're thinking
though?
of it wrong. You're supposed to eat a lot and then fall asleep.
Hang on. I had Judy wanted to try Burger King original chicken sandwich because we got the coupons. She saw coupons. Who keeps
Has she
coupons,
never
right? Never
tried-
tried it.
Okay.
And I told her when I was a kid, I would get stomach aches to stay home from school. And then I would tell my mom, "Mom, do you know what I feel like? Chicken sandwich." So that became our inside joke for years. Whenever I'd say, "You know what I'd feel like?" and my mom would say chicken sandwich. So I raved about this thing. So we got that
That's a good inside joke.
and the Whopper because she wanted to retry the Whopper. And
You guys had a Sunday of
Was
exploration.
it a good experience? The last time I had
no,
Burger King, it was
wait,
not good.
so let me say. So I ate half the chicken sandwich, and it was not great. And then we like split the Whopper. She really liked the Whopper at first, and then by the end of the Whopper, she goes, "This isn't good." I go, "Why?" She's like, "Every bite is different." And then she's like taking it
It's
apart.
got 7 ounces of mayo on it.
She ended up not. She got sick from Burger King. She's like, I said, "Babe, you're not supposed to save Burger King. You don't eat leftovers."
She ate leftover burger.
Just
again?
later that day, like because we ordered so much of it.
What is wrong with this woman?
She don't. Hey, you watch your tongue.
She had a very on the nose Burger
Yeah.
King experience.
Right.
Why
So
is it so bad?
I don't know.
I like it, but
I like
it does make
the
you
flame
feel
grilled
crummy.
taste.
Yeah.
But then
anyways,
it's never good.
Anyway, so that happened, and then by the time the game happened, I was not hungry, and I ate my own tears. So
Fair enough.
I'm more excited to hear about what this juror who we haven't introduced yet.
Me too. Before I introduce him, you know what the most underrated menu item at Burger King is?
Don't say
Is
they're
their-
fries because they're not.
They're onion rings.
The onion
I've
rings
heard
are
that.
good.
I don't think they're underrated. I think they're rated appropriately.
Fair enough.
They're
Yeah.
good.
I accept that.
I like that you can do the half thing, fries and
I
onion
didn't
rings.
know you could do
Whoa,
that.
yeah.
Now I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
I still go hard for the Whopper. I don't care what anyone says.
My wife does too, so
Yeah.
I
I
get
like
it.
the Whopper too.
yeah.
Speaking of Whoppers, we have a Whopper of a juror
Okay.
sitting in the middle here, and he probably had a Whopper of a meal on
Oh, I wish.
Sunday.
I wish
What-
it was a Whopper.
We have Mr. Nick Boyle. Nick, what'd you have on Sunday?
Hello, Mario. How are you?
Good. You got last named. I didn't get my last name.
That's because you're on a watch
Do
list.
you know my last name?
How do you pronounce it?
Errico.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say Errico.
It's not
and I was gonna
Errico.
get
It's not
embarrassed.
Errico.
Is it Errico?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, I didn't want to pronounce it wrong.
Right.
So every single time I was just like, maybe you'll catch on
He
to
thinks I have
this.
mafia ties.
Back to the question.
Yeah.
Judge, you're doing well, I hope.
I'm doing splendiferous.
Good. It's good to see you again.
Okay.
I can't wait for my free lunch. I made food this time. No ordering. I got a 4-pound Boston butt.
What's a Boston
It's
butt?
like pork shoulder.
Typically, you
Like pulled
use
pork?
it for pulled pork.
Okay.
But I made mojo pulled pork.
Yeah.
Is it Mojo or Mojo?
It's mojo.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't
I'm
you
not-
speak Italian?
I guess it depends what part of the
Yeah,
US
we
you
don't
live in.
pronounce the J like.
How do you pronounce it?
There's no J in the Italian alphabet.
Right. So it's silent.
It's just not.
Is there really
no,
not?
it's not. Like Juventus. They say
Juventus.
No, they say Juventus with the J.
So there is a J.
There isn't a J. It's in some words, but they'll pronounce it like the
So how
English.
does an Italian football team have
I don't know.
the
It's
J
very,
in their name?
Very odd.
My head hurts.
We'll do some
I'm
research.
confused. Anyway, so I made that. Well, that was cooking. I got some like queso blanco
Ooh.
and got some ground beef and like taco seasoned it,
Like a cheese dip kind of thing.
and then made a queso dip with like chili con queso, basically.
Yeah.
So that was our schmappetizer.
That's great.
And then with the tacos, I got the little mini street taco.
Oh, you did
tortillas.
like carnitas.
Yeah,
I
carnitas.
mean, people,
I didn't slice
people
it.
yell at me when
Yeah,
you don't do it like the authentic way and you still call it carnitas, but
right. I
Carnitas.
pulled the pork.
Oh boy, you
Yeah.
pulled your pork on Sunday?
I did.
Was Vanessa watching?
She assisted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Touche.
She had one fork, I had the other.
Oh boy.
Like, pulled the
healthy
pork.
marriage.
Yeah. So I bought like hot salsa, tomatillo salsa. I got like all the
Tacos are easy to go like hard with, in my opinion.
yeah.
You
And-
can get hard from tacos, yeah. You can soft too.
And then for dinner I had again I had
Shells, man.
ramen again, like the
The
instant
Publix
ramen.
ramen. No, instant ramen.
Yeah, like the spicy instant ramen.
Got it.
Yeah.
Going cheap over here.
Yeah, no, this isn't what I was expecting.
No, but I do have plans for this weekend, and they're big because of the Yankee
Okay.
playoffs.
Saturday night, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees. What is
I'm
the
gonna
plans?
wait to hear. No, I want to
wanna-
wait. I
No,
wanna be
because I've
surprised.
been
I haven't decided, but they're going to be large
informally
plans.
invited, so
They're going to be large. It's going to be a.
it's gonna be big.
I'm thinking something New York because the Yankees are playing.
We're going
like
to
a-
someone's
like a
house for
big
Georgia
meatball.
Auburn.
No,
so
like Chinese food. You know,
it would be New York.
New York stuff.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is New York.
You're going to Georgia Auburn?
A friend's house. They're like hosting the
Little
Georgia
tailgate?
Auburn game. I think they're probably doing pulled
Nice.
pork.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just the staple when you go over for barbecue.
No,
But
in
I'm
Florida.
excited to
Not
hang out
that's
with
not a Northeast. You wouldn't get pulled pork.
no, you definitely.
You'd
would
have to
not.
go and do your own pulling.
If
of
people
pork.
do barbecues in the Northeast, what do they? Is it burgers?
There's
and
no
hot dogs?
barbecue. We don't call it that. Grill out. We call
Fair
it
enough. Yeah.
Well, see, but barbecue I always thought was
chicken.
the grill.
Barb-
Like
oh, no.
burgers and
No,
Do you ever do like wings on the grill in the Northeast, or is it just fried there?
stop it.
I don't know.
If
I
you
like-
if
I
you
like
put
smoked
wings on the grill,
wings.
it's not called wings. It's called chicken. Putting chicken on the grill.
Ooh,
such a
You
hot
have so
thing.
much-
splitting hairs here.
You have so much to learn, Judge.
You're not wrong. Speaking of learning things, we are going to learn about this this person from this. So we're using a subreddit right now. It's called "Am I Overreacting?"
Okay.
Okay.
So a very similar principle to like, there's like, "Am I wrong?" or "Am I the asshole?" Is this do you think in this scenario this person's overreacting?
Okay.
It is actually fairly recent. It's from a couple months ago, and it's "Am I overreacting? Family adds more liquor to drinks at restaurant." I enjoy dinners with my family regularly. Recently, my uncle and mom started bringing a bottle of tequila to add to their margarita pitcher. They try to be covert, but always get noticed by staff who I assume do not get paid enough to care. Even though no confrontation occurs, I still feel embarrassed about this and refuse to drink alcohol with them. I've been called the fun police already, but I take it in stride and we're able to enjoy dinner together. On our last outing, they switched to a water bottle filled with tequila in an attempt to be more covert. It was brown tequila, obviously not water, and the waiter still noticed them adding to the margarita pitcher. For some reason, this felt more embarrassing. If they could actually do it covertly and not call me out for not wanting to drink, I may be less bothered by it, but nonetheless still bothered. I don't make a big deal or argue about it. I just try to move past it quickly and enjoy dinner together. In my mind, I equate it to bringing outside food and eating it at the table. Plus, I have concerns about liability and jeopardizing the restaurant's liquor license should anything bad happen. Am I overreacting, or should I calm down and have a drink?
She's definitely not overreacting. That is so disgustingly trashy. Like, is there like podunk in the middle of nowhere places? I would assume. Like,
That's a good question.
that's disgusting. Also, like from a restaurant's liability point of view, there's something called the dram shop law where it can hold the restaurant or bar responsible for the intoxicated acts of the person. I
I'm learning
wouldn't-
so much already.
Right. So if you're aware of someone over serving themselves, it's still happening in your establishment.
You're still liable.
So the restaurant probably has a responsibility to ensure that they're not being over served in any
Right.
capacity in their bar, restaurant, whatever. But getting aside from that, like, that's disgusting, man. Like, that's like bringing food in. It is like bringing a pizza to your wedding.
Or ranch.
Right.
I think the part I don't get is like, can you just not go home and have margaritas
First,
afterwards?
yeah, it sounds like borderline alcoholism or alcoholism.
For sure.
Either order another drink, cheap ass, or wait till you get home.
Yeah.
Just not overreacting. This person needs to be sentenced to 100 lashings on the butt.
So one thing you brought up about like where is this taking place? Like when I think of places that let it slide, I do think of smaller towns because like any like somewhat busy location in Jacksonville is gonna like
Don't try this in my small town. What's that stupid song?
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't
I know
what I'm talking
exactly
about?
what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
talking about.
Don't try this in a small
Except
town.
I
or some
think
stupid
that's
country.
probably the place to try it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, and to me it sort of screams Midwest, but
Oh no, to me that screams South.
really,
Midwest is too wholesome to do something like that.
No, I think
They
that's
drink
they're
a lot
sneaking
more.
it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. In the Midwest, though, the staff would be like, "Oh, that's pretty good. Hey, you should sneak another shooter in there for me.
pass me a glass.
Yeah. Can I get a sip? Like, put a straw in there for me. When I come back to give you a halibut, I'll take a sip."
Did you ever go to like the meat raffles in Minnesota?
No, but oh my gosh,
Like
you
at a
just brought
farm?
back so many memories. I remember hearing about them all
They
the
have
time.
that. They have pull tabs, and then one of the big things,
If
especially
you
with
don't
like,
Google meat raffle, you probably won't get what you think you're gonna get.
Just make sure you're an incognito when you Google
Yeah.
meat.
I would definitely, and make sure you spell it right.
Yeah.
But sorry, laughing at my own joke. The other thing about Minnesota, especially since you went to the U, a lot of my friends who went to the University of Minnesota would go to
Wait.
Yeah, I knew Nick was gonna say that. The U is
The
either
U is
Miami,
Miami.
Or Michigan.
No, it's
in
the
Minnesota,
U.
the U of M, which is also Michigan.
Well, he
and-
said the U.
yeah,
Sky Yuma.
that's what we call
Yeah,
it in
but-
Minnesota.
Miami literally goes like this.
Sorry,
Yeah, I know.
it's something
Yeah,
like
they call it
us-
the U.
But if you're
for-
not
us
even, if you haven't
gophers-
even won a
You're
title,
not a gopher. I don't
No.
expect you to get it.
It's
how
not
can
'cause
you have
it's
any authority in how you call your school and you've never
It-
won anything?
It's because it's the university in the state. It's
Apparently,
the U.
this guy
That's
doesn't
why-
follow
okay.
hockey.
Sky Yuma. Yeah, they won hockey tournaments.
wow.
Lots of them.
Sky Yuma means victory.
Don't you lose to
Native
Boston
American.
College every other year?
Most years.
I'm gonna just ignore him and ask my
most
question.
years. We had great
See,
uniforms.
I do know
though.
hockey.
Great
Didn't see
colors.
that coming.
Great mascot too.
Did you
Goldie Gopher.
Did you ever go to the casino? Because that was a huge thing for some of my friends. who
Yeah,
went to
I
college
did.
There.
Yeah.
Like-
Not in college. I went in high school when I was a senior.
Okay, yeah. See that was like that's a huge. So drinking,
Garage drinking, ice
garage
fishing.
drinking on frozen water.
I lived in
drinking
Minnesota.
a casino.
Nick
Those
lived
are
in
like the big
Rochester.
hobbies.
I lived in
You lit-
Rochester for like a year and a half.
I'm learning so much
Yeah.
today. My dad did a stint in Rochester.
Yeah.
Dated a girl from Rochester for a little bit.
Up.
Kind
There
of
you go.
not that great of a place.
Oh no.
Without the Mayo Clinic, it would be farms.
There you go. Yeah,
Farms.
Mayo Clinic.
Farms.
So wait, so we gotta. What do you think?
Yeah,
Nick?
I agree.
Sorry, I'm stealing
Yeah.
your.
No, I agree.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
stealing thunder from the judge.
sentence them.
might be kind of cut and dry for sure. I was curious if either of you were
Disgust.
big liquor people. I guess.
Like
So-
the whole flask idea is just, yeah.
I'll tell you this, Evan. Oh, can I use your name on here, Snacksonville? Oh, Judge Foodie.
Who are you talking to?
I'm sure
Hold
we all
them in
have
contempt.
friends.
Hit your gavel.
We all have friends who drink.
This is your first warning, by the way.
I have friends who tend to have more drunk proclivities than others, and I've never seen that kind of action from anyone.
Right.
That's disgusting.
Just buy what they have to
Just
sell.
buy it.
I bet the comments went wild.
I
on your
guarantee
fans.
you where they went for these drinks, an extra shot of tequila cost maybe $4.
Yeah, I think you're right. That
Yeah.
is kind of cheap.
So
All right. So we are going to move on
Okay.
to our game where you guys are both racking up a score. We're gonna guess the Jacksonville restaurant. Nick, you're up one, right?
what are we doing here? Guessing the lines?
Is it 3-2? Is that the
I think it's
score?
3 to
No,
2.
it's 2-1, guys.
2 to
This is our
1. We've
fourth
only-
pod, so
okay.
do the math.
You're right. You're right. Okay. So
Well, wouldn't that mean I would?
I have no idea, but
We've
I
done
know, I
we've
know
done
Nick's up
3.
one.
You're 3-0. I'm 2-0 against each other.
That's why it's 3 and 2.
It is 3-2. All right.
It's not. Doesn't equal 5.
Oh, you have 3, I have 2. I thought you meant your record was 3-2.
This is-
Sorry.
Yeah.
My goodness. All right.
That's the Bills record.
Second warning.
No, it's not. It's 4-1 next week.
Okay, here's the review. What the F happened to this place?
Uh-oh.
I've been a fan of this place for years. I used to frequent the old location on Hendricks as my go-to. Back when they had the real Mexican dudes serving you burritos the size of a baby's thigh. Fast forward to today. I'll spare you the dramatics and just give you the highlights. Waitress was horribly absent. The $12.99 wings are effing disgusting and overpriced. My 4-year-old wanted chicken. Our 2 plates arrived at 2 considerably different temperatures. The wings for the 4-year-old, hotter than the sun. My number 22, lukewarm baby piss. I sent the 22 back. They chose to nuke the shit out of it, so the edges of the plate, scalding hot. The center, simmered baby piss. Once I started to eat the beans and rice, I found a piece of plastic about the size of a quarter. Called that lady over who had already ignored our request for more chips and showed her the plastic. She took it to Hefe, who provided a tepid apology at best. After being abandoned like a couple of lepers, we got the check and left. This is not the place you remember. I feel like someone slow effed me in the butt with a cactus.
Okay.
Nothing about my experience was anywhere near worth the $17 I paid. And I have a feeling you will both nail this.
No, we won't. I won't nail this.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
then
gonna
you go first.
I'm gonna guess in the La Napolera.
I also was going to guess La Napolera.
Well, the score is now 4-3. You
Oh
guys both
wow.
got it, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
That one was one where I was like, I know I'm going to find some spicy reviews.
thought
And
you would
they
miss
have like
that, and I
5
was gonna
different
be sneaky, but you got
locations.
That's what got it. The 5 different locations.
Well, she only said
The Hendrix one,
Hendrix.
which I mean,
I don't even know where Hendrix is.
neither.
it's in San Marco. There's a San Marco location.
Oh
But
yeah.
I mean, regardless,
that's like their best location, right?
multiple locations, and then you do like Mexican. You kind of start putting
Chicken
the
wings,
pieces
though?
together.
What's going on there?
I guess he said his was it his
Kid
daughter
wanted
chicken or
chicken.
whatever.
Ugh.
But yeah, no, when they're talking about number 22, and I just there's not that many places,
That
especially
number their
places
food,
that I
yeah.
would pick for you guys.
Oh,
That,
see, I thought that was
We're
covert.
not foodies. I
Yeah,
guess.
I guess we're not
well,
foodies.
no, like if I just picked some random
Keep getting jury duty.
Can't all
there's
have
so
an
many hole in
Instagram.
the
I
walls.
know.
I don't even know who you're talking about right now. I'm starting to get annoyed.
Okay.
Being a judge is hard sometimes.
Yeah. Oh,
You got to keep the rules. Keep us in place.
What did tip you off?
The locations.
And the
And-
number 22.
No, that didn't do it for me. I just honestly
Just the location.
so
And
many
Mexican
locations.
food,
I know
yeah.
Jacksonville, La Napolera has a lot.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by Farah and Farah. You know, it's interesting. Car insurance commercials tend to focus on the simple fixes. A busted windshield, a banged up bumper. What about the human damages like pain and suffering? Farah and Farah's accident attorneys won't let big insurance forget about your pain. For a fair fight, you know who to call. All right, we'll get into one more here. We'll go back to Reddit. All right, we are back to Am I the Asshole?
My favorite.
Am I the asshole for telling people not to eat the food at my sister's wedding?
I can't.
My husband, 27 male, and I, 26 female, were married.
We know these people.
We know the male, female. We know them.
Yeah. We're married 8 months ago. We had a big wedding with lots of food and drinks and people. I knew we would likely have leftovers, so I had arranged for them to be donated to the soup kitchen we sometimes work with. However, my mom went behind my back and took most of it with her. I didn't really know what happened to the food until now. My sister Callie, 30 female, got married over the long
We don't
weekend.
know her.
No, she's new.
Say dirty female?
Yes.
That's what I
Okay,
said.
okay.
She didn't want to mess with any of the planning, and knowing how my mom was during the wedding, decided to let our mom take over the whole thing. All we had to do was show up and were told to party. Something like that.
Show up and party.
Show up where we were told and party. The ceremony was beautiful, but it was when the buffet was revealed that I noticed something odd.
Oh no.
The food looked eerily familiar.
Oh, no way.
No.
Like
was
identical to what I had for my wedding, except a little more dried out and sad. I found an opening and went to ask my mom about it, where she happily told me she saved a fortune by unfreezing the food from my
Oh
wedding
my
to
god.
serve to the guests now.
Wait. Judge, how far away were the weddings?
8 months. 8 months.
8 months.
Oh.
I was horrified, like you are, and immediately voiced my concerns about safety. She got upset and said I was acting like a snob and should be happy the food wasn't going to waste. I argued that it was never going to be wasted, but she wouldn't hear it. I didn't want to make a scene, but was worried about people getting sick, so snuck off to see my sister. She was horribly embarrassed, mentioned that mom said something about saving money but didn't question it because she didn't want to foot the bill like I had. She told me not to eat the food and thanked me for the warning. From there, my husband and I discreetly started telling some guests to be wary of the food, and the rest of the night was fine. My mom caught some flack for being cheap, but I've also been catching heat. Some of our relatives have been saying that I intentionally made my family look bad and that the food was fine as it was frozen and then defrosted for the wedding. They say no one would have known if I didn't make a stink over it. I didn't know if I did anything wrong. I could use some help and would like to know if I should apologize.
Okay.
Am I the asshole? And there's some
No.
details they throw in just before you get going.
I can't. Go ahead with the details. These are not Italians. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. I've had it up to here with you.
These guys, I mean, come on.
This is
hang on.
Okay.
So you're telling me that the family gave her flack for the
Listen,
cheap mom?
I bring in lunch every single
you
week.
never bring
Still
in
haven't
lunch.
seen
So what do you
That's
unfreeze it?
beside the
You
point.
keep it from the
It's
first
frozen.
week and you keep it. You know what?
You're ungrateful for
No.
these jerks.
Guess I'm outta here.
Are you serious? We're in the middle of a recording. What do you want me to do?
Kind of an overreaction there.
I'm going to have to write my own Reddit story about this. What the fuck?
Just a rude little man.
Rude little man indeed.
Well, now what?
I don't even. I
We
guess
don't-
we should
we
get
don't
back
need
to
two
it. Yeah,
people.
I don't know. He's a piece of
Maybe
work.
he'll come back.
Hopefully not. I guess back to the story.
Okay.
So a couple of the details I was going to mention. The wedding had about 200 guests, which is actually kind
That's
of a
a lot.
lot. And the original poster said the husband has a large family and they plan for more people to come. And then her sister and her husband had been together for about 10 years and they wanted to get married for tax reasons and they wanted a courthouse wedding. But apparently her mom begged her to let her do an event. So she had a small wedding with only 50 people. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so the original poster's wedding was 200 guests. Her sister's wedding was,
only
50 people.
Right.
And then I think those are the crucial details with that.
Right.
So, yeah, it's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, freezing anything for 8 months and then serving it to, like, your family is odd.
I'm curious what it even was because, like, it probably wouldn't work with something like pulled.
And was that the only thing that she served? Like, did they order more
She
fresh?
didn't, I wonder if
and
she supplemented it.
You see what I mean? Like, you would know.
That's
But
crazy.
she did say in the
if
thing that
that's all
some
she
of it, that
served.
half the food looked like it was more dried out than the other, right?
Yeah, but even like, man, like I've had some like, I don't know, was your wedding food any good?
Yeah, but it was Italian food from like a restaurant.
Okay, yeah, Italian food's usually better. Like when people do like the fine dining, or when they do like the chicken and like those options.
Yeah, I think we
usually
had
don't do
like
that well.
steak with like a marsala sauce, and then we had like chicken piccata.
I feel like the pasta
It was
always
easier
goes
to-
over pretty well.
Yeah, we had an ice cream sundae bar. That was
That's
sweet.
that's a good move.
My wife
right
loves
there.
ice cream, so
Yeah,
it had like hot fudge and stuff.
ice cream solid.
Yeah, but-
yeah,
the daughter is definitely not an asshole.
no,
The mom is the asshole,
What's crazy is like,
and then the family. To
yeah,
make
pulling
her
this
feel
off at the
bad?
wedding.
Yeah,
It's insane to me that she get blamed. I guess I don't know. I do agree though. Like it's not her fault. Like she should have done it, but she definitely made her family look bad. But at the same time, it's warranted.
yeah.
Maybe like I don't know. I guess the question is like, did she have to go tell everybody?
Like, did she have some type of duty to tell people that the food was old?
Right. Versus just like let it go. And I mean, I guess if it were me, I would probably just shake my head and let it go.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't say anything either. I
'Cause
wouldn't
it's
eat
like,
it.
I feel like we read a story like a few weeks ago, the pizza story.
Yeah,
About the guy who ordered pizza, and it's like you could just choose not to create chaos.
right.
And like I get it, like she tells her sister, that's fine, and you guys can like
If the bride wanted to tell people,
that's different.
that's different. So maybe I wouldn't, maybe she's a little bit of a butthead for doing that, for telling people,
yeah,
but
just a butthead though.
just a butthead, not an asshole.
No,
Not all the way there.
because I totally I get where she's coming from, and it's kind of like it is a little insane that her mom kind of like cowboyed the whole operation. And I know they just wanted like a courthouse wedding, and it's probably like only 50 people is probably only family.
But so was the younger sister who had the wedding with the old food already, so they must have already been planning their small wedding for the mom to know that 8 months earlier she should save the leftover food to freeze it.
Probably, because I don't know why you'd, unless you just were freezing it for like a special occasion, but I guess no, she probably did know.
So the mom knew that she was
took
freezing
it
for 8 months.
She probably took it either in anticipation of the wedding or because the wedding was being planned, and she's like, I got an idea to save money.
Right. So that's what, like, I wonder, did she force her younger daughter to, like, oh no,
She
I'm
didn't
sorry,
tell her, yeah.
because the younger daughter wanted a
Courthouse
wedding,
So she forced her to have the wedding, and
then fed her.
threw that into the wedding. Which, like, how good would
Where's the
Well,
dad?
I guess I don't know. It's such an interesting situation because it depends how much this poster's sister actually cared about like the wedding reception.
Yeah.
Because if she just wants a courthouse wedding, maybe it might have even been a worse idea to go tell people and create a whole hubbub if she doesn't. If it's not that big of a deal, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
There's some gray areas on this one.
to freeze the food for 8 months and then serve it is crazy.
That alone.
And where's the dad?
That warrants punishment.
Like the dad
dad
isn't
didn't like rein her in a little bit.
yeah, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, maybe this is a little gross.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, you're feeding it to your family, like not
Yeah.
only your close family but your extended family for the wedding.
people you love and care about and
Right.
would like to provide the best for instead of just saving some money.
So I would suggest, and my verdict would be, mom asshole,
For
daughter butthead.
Sure. Butthead. Yeah. Light sentence on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that her poor sister.
Yeah, she's just like
'Cause-
thrown in between.
Because then she knows she's literally older and she's getting leftovers.
And like, I wonder if she knew that this was going to happen. Would she have forked over the cash herself to buy better food?
So the post said that her mom said they were going to save money, but
She never
didn't really
asked.
know how.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I don't want to pay for it, which
Right.
I do
I get it.
understand.
Yeah.
But I guess
But knowing that, it's kind of like,
if you're not gonna look into the details at all, it is sort
How
of
can you
like
be mad?
Kind of have it coming.
yeah,
Like
I agree.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I agree with that sentence. All right. I have another, and I
What do you
sort
think,
of.
Mario?
That's what he sounds like.
That is
too.
what he sounds like, yeah.
I have a review.
I
that
agree, Mario.
I actually would want Mario's opinion on, except I think I kind of know his opinion on this. So I guess I'll just get someone more important's opinion.
There
on
you
it.
go.
All right. It is from a subreddit called Relationship Advice.
Okay.
Is a fancy lunch/dinner considered a birthday gift? Gut thoughts?
No.
No. Okay.
Mm-mm. A birthday gift? I guess it depends
What
who,
if,
from
yeah,
who.
How?
From who.
So I think one of the key details is right away here. So
Yeah.
my 22 male and then girlfriend 20 female seems to love gifts and gift giving, and although I haven't explicitly asked her, seems to not hold eating a fancy meal/going out part of a birthday gift. Her birthday is coming up somewhat soon, and I have a very expensive lunch planned, and she hasn't expressed a lot of interest in it, followed by a fancy dinner.
Okay.
I am a college student and do not have much money at all, and I'm trying to make her birthday special, and was wondering if anyone else had any thoughts on if you would consider this a gift or just simply a nice gesture experience. I'm just worried she will still be looking for some major gift at the end of the night.
So they're in a relationship? I missed that. You said girlfriend?
So more than a verdict, I think this poor lover is looking for some advice on how to approach this. So his girlfriend likes fancy gifts, and he's got a fancy lunch and dinner planned, and he says he doesn't have a lot of money, which I guess when you're 22, that would make a lot of sense.
Right.
And so he's wondering if he can basically slide or if she's going to expect something afterwards. What do
In
you
that,
think?
and like, I guess maybe in that context, like, I guess it depends how fancy is the meal. Like, if you're talking like a $400 prefixed menu at a, that's
could be a
pretty good
gift
gift.
for sure.
Right. That experience, right? And then the ice cream
But
after.
if
maybe
you're
the
like,
park,
we're gonna spend a little extra at
That's-
Texas Roadhouse tonight,
that's not a gift.
that's just like we're celebrating your birthday.
Yeah.
And I think the key part here, at least for me, is like I think this is probably an individual thing. Because like for me, I just want some clothes for my birthday, supplement what I already have.
Yeah.
And then I do genuinely want to eat. So for me, it probably is. But he literally said like she likes gifts. And so he's like,
then it's like if he gave her a nice gift and then said, "Let's go to Chick-fil-A," she'd be like, "Chick-fil-A."
There is, yeah. So
maybe he should have
do you
taken.
think communicating about this would help?
Oh, for
or
sure.
is that going to ruin it?
Like, hey, fancy dinner or gift, right?
You like give her an either or.
Yeah,
so she
and then if
doesn't
she goes
expect both.
Well, if she says both, then it's kind of like, okay, let's figure this out.
And so he's trying to surprise her, and which, if you already know what she's like, and you're like, I want to surprise her.
Yeah, what's the question then?
But I guess I would say cancel your fancy dinner lunch plans, table them for now, and figure out like try to communicate like, hey, if we did this, I don't have a lot of money for it. I don't know. That's a weird conversation.
I think if you know that she's fancy
gifts,
gift, you go fancy gift.
You just go that and then see what you can do outside of that.
Yeah.
And just be like, well, I don't have a lot of money.
Because a fancy gift could be like a nice fancy, like, a couple $100 could go a long way for a gift in the sense of like,
for sure.
How long, like what type of product
She's 20, so it's like, I don't like when you gave gifts when you were dating your wife before you guys were married, what was kind of like what did you do?
It was like a $50 to $100 necklace.
Yeah, okay.
Bracelet.
Same. Because we didn't go super hard with gifts because I don't think either of us really cared.
Right.
But like it was more about like time spent together,
right,
like, doing stuff.
Right.
And also I know people are different. I don't know if I would ever date or get along with somebody who is a gifts person. Because to me, that just it feels so like you're earning their love by like buying something, even though that's technically not what you're doing.
Well, or is it exactly what you're doing?
I guess technically it is exact. So I don't know, man.
And I think Mari's opinion would be both.
You think so? He'd just be like, well, you should just give
go
both.
into debt.
I'm curious.
Sacrifice something.
So yeah, when he started dating Judy, like he had a career and like the ability to do kind of, because like I know those guys like went and had fun and he would go.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a lot different being older and with a job and so it's a lot easier to not have to make that decision.
Yeah,
but I mean look, if it was gift and fancy dinner. I feel like the fancy dinner is almost what they want to do.
It does sound like it's what he wants to do.
Right. So,
which I don't know. I guess if it's their birthday, you really do got to put them first.
Right.
So that might be the primary message.
I would try to do both. But if you absolutely
off.
Can't, then I think you do what they're asking for, and that's the fancy gift.
Yeah.
You just skip the fancy meal. You go to Texas Roadhouse instead.
Yeah, and even I feel like depending on this person's taste, if they really also like fancy food, you just might be screwed. Like you just might be broke for a minute.
Yeah, right. And just figure it out.
But if you can get away with a Texas Roadhouse, that's the move, I think.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I think that's a happy couple after our advice.
I think so. I think they should be thankful for our advice.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Mario being thankful for all my contributions.
Unreal.
Sorry. I'm
salty.
Getting angry again. Okay. Speaking of anger, we are going to read a 1-star Yelp review. I believe this is from Fargo, North Dakota. It is a place called Vinyl Taco. Have you ever been to North Dakota?
No. Don't. But I bet it's no. Don't. I was going to say I bet the plains are beautiful.
That's about it.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the tacos aren't great.
Like literal airplanes and then like plains.
Actual fields planes.
That's it. Fargo's a bigger city, so I wouldn't be surprised if the food's okay. This guy apparently does not think so.
Yeah.
All right. The customer service is abhorred. I think you spelled that wrong. I popped in just before opening because there were 2 other tables already seated and receiving service. When I walked in, no one seemed like they wanted to help or seat me. I waited a few minutes while the staff finished prepping for opening and then approached a bartender to ask if they were opened, and she responded, in 4 minutes. I said, okay, even though they were clearly waiting on other patrons, and said that I wanted a place to go order when they opened. I wanted to place a to-go order
Yeah.
when they opened.
Mm-hmm.
There were probably 4 or 5 staff members standing there when I said this. After 10 minutes of standing there waiting while the staff talked and ignored me, I left. The atmosphere looked cool and the menu seemed intriguing, but I unfortunately did not get to try it. Maybe other people have had a better experience, but there are far too many great places to eat in Fargo to waste your time on a restaurant that does not get customer service.
It's not a sentence that's said a lot.
And he said, I know it's Cinco de Mayo, but there were literally 4 customers, including myself, and what I saw was at least 10 staff in the 10 or 20 minutes I was there. So he seems a little miffed that he did not get served when he wanted to get served.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he makes a reasonable case for why.
so
he would
were
be
they
upset.
open or were they not? I guess I got confused.
He walked
there.
in. That's the thing. Then that's why this stuck out to me. He walked in before they opened, but he said there were 2 other tables sat.
How?
I don't know.
And how does he know that they're customers? If
I don't know that.
like they
either.
could be family members of the employees, or
It very well could be like staff meals. It could be customers that they sat, but they were still setting up. It could be family members.
so. And then he said,
This place I think is probably a more upscale like place just based on the name.
okay. And then he said, I want to place an order, and they said when we open in 4 minutes,
Yeah, she said 4 minutes, and then he had to wait 10 whole minutes.
and then left.
Yeah. And so the thing he was mad about that I get why he was mad about, but I also definitely think he's in the wrong for writing this ridiculous review is like I saw all this staff standing around. And so he's like, well, if they're standing around, they could be taking my order, basically.
Yeah. So you don't think that deserves 1 star?
I don't even think he tried the food. So first of all, I don't think you should
Yeah,
ever
that's a
write
good
review
point.
if you
Yeah,
don't try the
should
food.
right? Should you even touch the review?
I don't even think it's fair to write a review if you don't have the food.
That's such a good point.
And people do it all the time.
Yeah.
People will be like, oh, they were closed, so I'm writing this 1-star review.
And you can't get rid of that.
No, and that's a whole sidebar
Right.
conversation. But yeah, these 1-star reviews kind of stick around, and even the ridiculous ones stick around and hurt your like average or whatever. But you can like answer them and invite the person to come in and try it. But like in this case, this dude seemed very impatient. And yeah, I get why he would be mad, but it's like, okay, first of all, if you see staff waiting around and it's like wait staff, you might not be waiting on them. You might be waiting on the kitchen.
That's true. And also, he didn't wave them down. Like, he said that they were standing around, but did he wave them down to come take his order?
That's a good
Like,
question.
because
Yeah.
look, if you come in 4 minutes early and then you're upset you waited 10 minutes, you really only waited 6 minutes because you
Yeah.
shouldn't have been there for 4.
Yeah. And
So
even then, if you're like trying to place an order like the second they open, that's a high expectation.
yeah, like I went to a restaurant yesterday. I walked in, there was nobody at the like
The
where
host stand
the
or
host,
whatever?
yeah, the host stand. I didn't just stand there. I like peeked my head around. I like and the first employee that made eye contact, I went like this, and they walked right over and sat me. It's like
Yeah.
that's all you had to do.
And I guess so the weird thing is like he wanted to place a to-go order and he's mad about waiting 10 minutes. Like if you would place that to-go order, you're going to be waiting for that too. I don't know. I don't get, like I get if you're frustrated about that and then if you went through with your order, maybe the food was okay, give it 3 stars,
Right.
about that. 1 star is like
On no food, yeah. Are you a order to go when you get there or call in first?
call in first.
That's the next point. Why are you ordering to go in person?
So
Wait for the store to open.
Yeah.
Call.
It's like, do you not have a phone?
Yeah,
You're
like, take
writing
your
this
time.
review on your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I get some people want to like chill, have a drink at the bar while they wait for their food.
Right.
I've done that. That's
Yeah.
pretty pleasant. But
Yeah.
like, it's such a like aggressive way to get to go food to just wait and then like sit there with your arms crossed while like they're making your food. And it just, I don't know. Especially on Cinco de Mayo where they're probably battening down the hatches, you gotta chill.
And they just opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta chill.
Yeah. Like your
So-
expectations are even lower on a day like Cinco de Mayo at a Mexican restaurant.
They should be at least.
Like for service wise, right?
I would say so. And like again, even if you see a whole bunch of people talking or whatever, it's like they're people. Cut them some slack.
Yeah,
I don't know. And
what do you
some
think
people are
Mario would
harder.
say?
I know Mario. First of all, don't care what Mario would say.
Yeah.
Second of all, if I had to guess, I would say Mario, from his offerings in the past, he tends to be pretty gracious towards customer service. Is that your experience with him?
Yeah.
Because like even the story,
he's gracious in the sense of he never gets really mad at them, but he will absolutely confront somebody.
and I think in this,
Like, I don't want to sit there. My
he
food's
probably
cold.
would have just been like, "Hey, can I put an order?"
Exactly, but much more
Which
forward.
is totally reasonable.
It's
like,
it's the only thing that's
and
reasonable.
even if they said like no, it's like okay, well,
if they tell you
asked.
no, then you leave and write a 1-star review.
I don't even know about that.
Or- okay.
But
Because
it's at least more warranted.
The not having the food really affects your standing on if you can even write a review.
If there's a bunch of people standing around and talking, and you're like, "Hey, can you guys take my?" He probably had to order from the bar or something. I don't know what the whole scenario is, but I know Mario probably would have been a little bit more direct about it,
yeah.
which is I think fair.
So I think this guy should have to write a review of himself,
I think he needs to,
and it has
at
to be
the
a
very
1-star
least,
review.
I think even just me being kind here, he should go back and actually try the food and write a real review.
Yeah,
Like I think that's the punishment.
like an edited review.
You also have to apologize for the 1-star review.
Yeah.
Those are probably the two. It's mild, but it's like I get why you were frustrated. I feel like you're just retaliating.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
which a lot of these tend to be.
I think that's a fair sentencing, Judge.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Last one here. It is from, I actually have no idea what the subreddit is, but it's called r/Dusty Thunder.
Okay.
I tried to figure it out, what the theme was.
Dusty Thunder.
I have no idea.
Did you
but-
Google it? Should we Google it?
I might.
Is this another incognito mode type Google?
This sounds like an incognito mode type Google.
What was it? Dusty Thunder?
Dusty Thunder. And at first I thought that was like the guy who posted its name because that's a pretty sweet name for an account. But
Read stories on Reddit. It's a person.
maybe it's like
Is it his-
a guy with an account.
Is it his Reddit?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Or it's like a show because there's like other shows where they have Reddit stories.
Right.
But this one's titled, "Are We the Assholes for Not Paying It Forward?"
I already
Have you ever like hit
And
that
I
in the
did not
drive-thru?
pay it forward.
Yeah, okay. This was perfect for you.
Yeah.
My husband, 29 male, and I, 29 female, went to a fast food restaurant
Do
recently.
we know these? Male, female?
These are different ones.
Okay.
The joke's never
It
gonna
won't
die.
ever go away, yeah.
We had just gotten groceries and spent quite a bit, so they go to fast food. So we opted to split a chicken nugget meal around $10. We probably shouldn't have gone to get fast food considering how much we just spent on groceries, but we wanted to treat ourselves.
To nuggets.
It's very American.
Yeah.
After we ordered, we were told to pull up, and another employee told us that our meal was paid for by the car in front of us. We were very surprised and thought it was so nice of them. The employee asked if we wanted to pay it forward, and my husband asked, "How much is the order behind us?"
Uh-huh.
Only asking because we don't necessarily have $50 to spare. The employee told us that there wasn't anyone behind us, so we thought that was the end of the line. As we get closer to the pickup window, we hear, "Okay, sir, here is your refund of $10 to the car in front of us." It was said quite loud, almost obnoxiously loud, and we heard laughing from the employees and the person in the car.
Here's your refund from the... They hand them
$10.
cash? Or was that a joke? It like handed the food and said, here's your... I don't...
My husband and I looked at each other and were confused and wondering if maybe a mistake happened or something. We get to the window and the employee says, "That'll be $10. My husband just says, "I guess a mistake happened since y'all told us the car in front of us paid for our meal." The employee smirked and said, "Yeah, it was a mistake, all right." We paid for our food and left. The whole situation has me and my husband confused. Did the person change their mind because we were last in line? Was it because my husband asked how much the order was behind us? Should we have waited until someone showed up so we could pay it forward? If there was someone behind us with a huge order, would it be bad to not pay it forward
This is
simply
so
because we couldn't
confusing.
afford it? What would have been the appropriate response to the situation?
So, the husband, male,
Mm-hmm.
asked how much is the food behind us? But then
And they were the last car.
But then there was no food behind them.
So they pull up to the window, the car in front of them. They hear from the car in front of them, the employee say, "Here's your refund of $10." So what happened was the car in front of them paid for their nuggets.
Right, right.
And so they're like, "Sweet, free." And the employee was like, "Well, do you want to pay for the person?"
But there's
behind
nobody
them?
behind them.
Exactly. So
So
they're
was
like,
that like an open credit card? Like, here's my credit card number. Swipe whatever the guy when they eventually show up.
so I'm guessing because they weren't automatically like, "Yes, we would like to pay for the car behind us." The employee in front was like,
So that means the driver that paid for it put a condition on it and said,
"Apparently,
I'm only going to pay for it if they are willing to pay it forward.
Either that or the employees somehow were like, I don't know. It's a weird situation because there's some sort of like,
You couldn't.
number
have-
one,
you
there's
couldn't
some
pay it
like
forward.
malicious expectation of generosity,
Right.
which is insane for that
Yeah.
model of thing. Second of all, it's weird that they would just for whatever, I don't know if it was maybe the tone or like whatever.
To ask, do you want to pay it forward to nobody is so confusing.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because it's like, what
Like,
do
here's
you
a
want, what do you
$20
want me
bill?
to pay? Yeah. Which I went
And
to a coffee shop one time and they're like, I feel like it was just like, oh, you get a free cup of coffee. And someone had like put a bunch of money towards coffee that day for like the first however many people until
Yeah,
it spent.
yeah.
And I was like, well, here's some money and just add it to the pot. That's what I did. But the thing is, number one, if you don't have cash, you can't do that.
You can't do that, yeah.
And at least these
I
days, like
never have
nobody has.
cash.
I never
Never.
have cash either. I
Yeah.
did one day, and I was like, "Well, I'll use it here."
Right.
But for them, it's like, what are you gonna ring me up for something? Like,
Yeah, and that's my experience as well. Was the kind of similar to this story was there was nobody behind me, so they just like, hey, they paid for your food, and I was like, oh. They look in the mirror, great,
and you know,
and then they were like,
unsurprisingly,
okay.
you got your free food, and that was
Right,
it.
right.
For this person,
Like,
for
what am I supposed to do,
whatever
leave a
reason, they
tip?
pulled a 180 on these guys.
Dude, maybe they were. This was their perfect opportunity to pay for the employees to act like they needed to just hand them cash to pay it forward, and then they were just going to pocket it.
That's entirely possible.
And so when it
but
fell
they
apart,
handed the money back to the car in front of them. But they probably wouldn't have done it. That's
if they
so
paid him the tip,
weird.
if they gave the tip for whatever comes next,
I actually understand why you'd post this on Reddit because that is a really weird situation.
it just makes no sense. There's nobody behind me, and then you're refunding my meal because I couldn't pay for anybody behind me.
Like,
So
if
that
it
means their
happened-
expectation had to have been leave me cash, which
Yeah.
the employee would just pocket and not tell the car that comes next, hey, your meal's free.
Yeah, and I mean, so they would have like the car in front of them got a free meal, but these guys.
Well, we don't know
I
that.
don't know, man.
We don't know if the car.
Maybe the employees would just do this when they see a string of cars, and so the last car they always end up pocketing the cash.
Exactly. That's exactly what they did.
The other crazy thing is this. I wonder, did this happen through like one of those speakers? Because like, I guess I envision Chick-fil-A. Like I envision the person coming
Oh, it's
up
like
to
a
your car.
person.
I don't think it was because I don't think that many places do that. But it's just such an insane thing to hear like a restaurant like literally.
Like pocketing money.
Which now that you mention it,
But it was Burger
I
King.
think that is the most likely scenario.
Yeah.
I guess if you're listening or watching, I'm curious genuinely about your thoughts on this. If you think they were also trying to steal their money, let me know. I think that's the best theory.
It's got to
for
be it.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear your theories on this. Also, if you have a crazy story to submit, pretty much about anything food at this point,
Yeah.
we've covered a lot of different bases.
Let's hear it.
Shoot us an email or me an email at snacksonville@gmail.com.
And maybe eventually-
my friend at Snacksonville send it over to me, Judge
Yeah.
Foodie.
Maybe eventually we can put my Sunday meals in some type of order.
And, like we rank them.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I'll have to start like doing some research, writing them down.
Yeah.
Are you gonna cover a bunch of different food groups?
I try to. So it's different every Sunday. I try to do something different.
Yeah.
I think I've
As
been
one
pretty
does.
consistently different.
Are you gonna do like? I'm trying to think of one you haven't covered. Do you ever do like sushi? I know you did like
Yeah.
Asian stuff. Sushi's
I
an
would
interesting
usually
one.
do like a like a sushi boat for two type of
That's
thing.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I was thinking I also love to do the just a ton of Chinese food.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Chinese food covers that for sure. You've done barbecue and pizza and
chicken
Italian.
wings.
Man, you've covered a lot of different bases.
I know. We'll see what this. I don't know what I'm gonna do Sunday. I know I've got to figure something out for the playoff game for the Yankees, but
The Yankees.
yeah.
Well, we got our little Yankee ran off on
Yeah.
us. Should we let him join the next podcast?
I think we need to re-question to see if he can sit as a juror. We need to go through jury selection again with him.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to come up with a list of questions to ask him.
I got some.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that on the next episode. Thank you guys for joining the most prestigious food court on the internet.
Court is adjourned.
Court is adjourned.